Yeah. We ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped. Sitting high up on the throne. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped. Sitting high up on this throne. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, glowing up, but we still trapped. That's how a nigga survives. Flowing out, got the crowd packed. Yeah, that's how a nigga provides. Y'all insta this, y'all snap that, y'all diss this, and they snap back. Another mass shooting in the headlines. I'm like, damn, where that attack at? Cause y'all think this about race. They flaunt that shit in your face. It's like every day it's the same agenda. It's really not that hard to trace. Fuck it, we might as well face it. Accept it, whatever it's wrapped in. There'll come a day when they run out of grace. So me and my niggas stay trapping. Yeah, ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped. Sitting high up on the throne. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Hey, somewhat between who I wanted to be and then what I became. Ended up going my own way, but I couldn't stay in my lane. Now if I'm honest, I've taken a liking to wearing these chains. They hold me down, make it easier when I start feeling the pain. Out of the overflow, your heart, they say your mouth speaks. Well, my heart must be fucked up, cause I can't speak and I can't sleep. So I stay woke in this daydream. Got shit to do, got the world to see. Got the same crew, got some new fleets. There's an empire, fuck a boutique, that's real. I only say what I feel, got a new plate with the same meal. On a new hype with the same chill. Y'all too fake, I stay real. Got cast down from heaven, but I'm too good to stay in hell. I don't know where the story ends, but I
Swole Normeth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles, testiculares. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 1312 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and y'all hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swole. What's going on, beaches? What's good? Welcome to the Monday Swole. Let's get this started the right way, and I will give you all the updates right now, just to kind of get you amped up for the week. We got a brand new YouTube drop on the Swolenormous channel, and of course, we do have our accountability meeting for Swolenormous Fam after this episode. So we do it at about 12 noon Eastern time every single week. So those of you that are watching, Swole Fam, where's my Swole Text Fam at? We will be starting after 12. So when this podcast ends, we're going to go over 12 a little bit because we're just kind of getting live now. So we'll be kind of probably, quarter after, we'll be shifting from here into the private group. But this is kind of like our Monday check-in accountability for the entire Swole Fam, the global Swole Fam. But for those of you that are unlimited, uncensored members inside Swolenormous X, we'll do the announcements of all the new things that is coming this week that's being released, and I'll answer questions and we'll talk in the group. We did the we did the Ask Papa Swole live yesterday, the Q&A, and that was great. So those of you that listened to the podcast that couldn't make it live, to the private member cast, it was fire. It was great. You had great questions. It was a good time. I enjoyed it, as I always do. And now we're back for another Monday. How's everyone doing? How we doing today? Yesterday, I doubled up with yoga, and I did a hot yoga flow, and then I also did a sound healing afterwards. They offered a sound healing at the studio, and man, that was some serious shit. Have any of you ever done those? You're aware of those glass bowls? I guess they're called Tibetan bowls. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a lot of different kinds. I'm sure there's a lot of different names. So if I butcher that, that's what I'm referring to. But the kind of where you hit the right frequency, where you have the little stick or something, you go boom, 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 and you do those different things. Oh man, if you don't know what it is, you can Google it and stuff. It's not the same, but when you're there in the room, you literally do feel the vibrations. Like the sound is physical. It's such a, I guess, for lack of anything else, like it's like a cerebral massage. So the cool thing is, you don't have to do anything. You just lay there and you experience it. You just lay there and just fucking, you let it happen. So the woman was playing like she was playing like some little kind of music at the beginning, like very, very low with the bowls and stuff. And then she would say some phrases or say some sentences or tell a short little kind of story. And then the bowls would go for a while. And then she would say a couple more things. And then it was just all of a sudden just more and more of the boom, 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 that sound. I'm not doing it justice, of course. I'm not doing it justice, of course. So the cool thing was at the end of the whole thing, you can kind of hear, okay, we're coming out of it, or the words and the way it was kind of like rise and bing and like different whatever. So at the end, there's like a little bell. She goes ding. So that the thing is over. So I get up and I'm thinking like, wow, that was great. It was like 10, 15 minutes. It felt like, wow, that went by quick. It was an hour. It was an hour. It was the next hour. I look at the clock. Holy shit. I was knocked out, but I wasn't out. I wasn't sleeping. It was just this deep. That's what meditation is. That's when you kind of cross over into that other brain space where you're almost daydreaming. That's kind of what meditation is. You actually get restful sleep. You get the same effects as sleep, as like a deep sleep from practicing meditation. When you really go into that kind of a trance, it was awesome. And I hope to not miss another session for that. So that was super cool. That was super cool. If you've never tried it and you have access to it, I would look into it. I'm glad she secretly hypnotized me. I'm glad. It was awesome. Hypnotize me, baby. Hypnotize me, baby. Warhammer, when I tune my guitar in 432, I can feel the A in my chest. At least you're not feeling the D in your A. Get it? Get it? You know what I'm saying? You said D in your A? Okay. All right. Tough crowd, fam. That was a good one. But yeah, when you get the right frequency or the right note, you can feel that or that vibration. Those of you that do your ohm action. Om. I'm not an expert in that, but I do appreciate it. I love it. That's what the real secret is. People don't massage their brains. Think about that way. If you're new to meditation, how many of you practice meditation? How many of you are members that dig into brain gains inside Swole Enormous X? Like I said, after this episode, probably the next 10, 15 minutes, we'll be breaking off and going into the private group for the accountability meeting. And I do have some big announcements. I'm excited to share them with you. Ooh, I'm so excited. But how many of you get your brain gains on? That's what we call our mental training section inside Swole Enormous X. But it's like a massage. It's essentially you're strengthening your brain, you're remapping your pathways, and you are essentially mentally. It was like a mental massage, the sound healing. But meditation is kind of like a mental massage. It's like a mental workout. Mental stretching, mental foam rolling. It's really what it is. If you think that your body is challenging, the body is the simple thing. The physical is the simple. You go and you're like, all right, think about that Planet Fitness commercial. I pick things up and put them down. I pick things up and I put them down. That's what the physical is. It's so easy. You just go and, all right, I pick this up and I go down. This muscle does flexion. This one does external rotation and supination. And this one does, shoulder abduction or it's very mechanical. But the body is not just mechanical. And it's not, and most people get so foofy over this stuff. Oh, but it's meditation. Oh, you're getting too in the weeds. But in reality, the mind is this. We have a physical body where you see, okay, my skin ends here, my legs are here. You see the person in space, but how come the mind is just this complete expanse. It's such a counter. It counters all logic from what we see physically. It's so easy to do physical training when you start practicing your psychological practice. If you start meditating, if you start thinking differently, those are the things that are the most challenging. That's much more challenging than doing a bicep curl. That's much more challenging than doing a squat. That's much more challenging than doing, things like yoga, things that combine those different, that's one of the reasons why yoga is so challenging. It's not so much the moves, it's the speed, it's your psychological. How many of you, when you started practicing yoga, you felt it was equally as hard or harder psychologically than it was physically, because I know you're going to be wobbly. I know you're balancing awkwardly. You feel like a brand new, a newborn baby deer. But a lot of people have the issue where they can't slow down mentally. They feel like yoga's too slow, or they don't do yoga, or they try it once and they don't like it, and they say they don't like it, which of course biases it in their brain and they never come back to it. But it's hard to slow down. It's hard to breathe and be with yourself. People get uncomfortable when they're with themselves. People can't spend time with themselves. People can't be alone. You have to be around people all the time, around people. People can't take time for themselves. I love being by myself. I love being alone. I'll never tell. No, I like being alone. I like my alone time. I like doing stuff. I like, of course, doing the podcast, and I like hanging out with people I care about. But I do like thinking. I like going on the porch and thinking. I like walking the dog and thinking. I like my silence. I like my silence. I like my peace. I like quiet. I don't like a lot of noise. I'm not a big noise fan, which is ironic because I'm always seemingly running my mouth. I'm always talking, but I do like peace and quiet. Since I've started doing Swolenormous, since I launched the brand, since I launched the podcast, since I started doing all these videos, since I started doing so much content, since I started talking so much and putting so much stuff out there, I've actually listened to music less. I actually prefer silence over music. I used to listen to a lot of music, and I do want to go to the gym and stuff if I'm not doing a podcast or listening to a podcast, but I find myself just enjoying not hearing anything because there's enough going on in your mind. There's enough going on for me. There's enough going on in my mind to just relax and let my brain sift through shit. And once you start meditating and practicing, it's really, there's no good or bad at it. Of course, you practice more, you might be able to go deeper, but there's no measuring like, I meditated harder than you. Oh, I meditate as fuck. It's like I'm woke as fuck. I'm just like, I'm so enlightened. I'm so meditated. You don't really, you could be more proficient in it, used to it. You can have a better practice for yourself. But how do you compare? Oh, my meditation's better than yours. I think better than you. I relax better than you. How do you? It doesn't even make sense. You can't compare, even if it is possible. Of course, you can have practiced meditation for 10 years, and theoretically, you'd be better, quote unquote, than someone who doesn't meditate or never did because you practice it. But it doesn't mean that. Like, how would you measure? Oh, I'm better. It's not I'm a better basketball player than you. It's not that, hey, I can lift 500 pounds and you can only lift 400 pounds. It's I'm more spiritual. I'm more, I don't know, I zone out more. I'm more self-aware. I guess it's hard to measure. It's hard to measure. But I'm interested in these comments. So let's actually go into some of the comments because I've been asking a bunch of questions about meditation and brain gains. I want to give some perspective for people that maybe have never thought about meditating. I talk enough about yoga. I talk enough about physical restoration. I think that's starting to break through more. I think a lot of people that are following the podcast, and plus with social norms, it's much more acceptable for people to do yoga, period. There's more yoga studios, more gyms are offering yoga classes, more people are realizing the restorative, at least the physical restorative benefits of yoga, and things are getting much more mental, much more psychological because of technology. We're doing more stuff with our minds. We're doing less stuff physically. And that's not across the board, but people are doing more things for work. Careers are more mental. You're doing more stuff on computers. You're not necessarily lifting and taking a pickaxe and breaking stones. We have machines that do a lot of that work. So a lot more people are doing psychological type and non-physical, in that sense, careers. So we need to have that same kind of training where you might need a massage physically. You might need an ice bath physically. You need that for your brain, and people ignore their brain. And this is where people are having problems. This is where society is having problems when you have these mass shootings and you have all this anger and pent up aggression and riots and shit like that. That's psychological. That's the food. That's, of course, education, but that's upstairs. That's actual just it's, we have, let's say, body, and then lump that in with body positivity and fat acceptance. It's what's going on upstairs. It's people's beliefs. It's how they feel about themselves. It's how they feel about their future. It's how they feel like what kind of control they have over their health or lack of control. So you start playing that game, you start looking, okay, what are the real issues? It's physical, sure. We have physical issues. We have lack of exercise. We have poor food choices. And we also have a lot of stress, and we don't have methods and methodology that's in practice, that's being taught. That's the kind of shit that should be taught in school. There should be more self-education in school. There should be daily meditations in school. There should be daily yoga in school. Every morning, kids should come to school and do yoga and do a meditation before class. And then they should have exercise in the afternoon. They should be eating healthy during the day. They should have, maybe some reflective time, like free play time, like recess, like legit, like, hey, go be creative, go fucking run around, climb some shit and play hide and go seek or, role play, pretend like you're on a pirate ship on the fucking playground and stuff like that. Like kids should be doing more stuff creatively because that's where the future is for most things, for most professions. It's creative based. And to get people to think individually and to think, to strengthen their brains and to expand their minds is important. But when you have a society that needs to have obedience from a government, it's also not really, you think about it on the surface, like, it's not the best idea to have everyone thinking for themselves. You get some crazy ideas out there. You got some vulnerability going around. Just a thought. We're going up. You can go off in the weeds on that one, but in other words, the brain, the mind is such an untapped resource, an untapped well of who knows what's going on up there. But equate it to you having a lot of shit in your closet. You might have it's a spring cleaning. You're just going through your closet. You're throwing out the excess stuff. You're cutting the fat. You're getting rid of the extra stuff that doesn't serve you, that doesn't need to be there. By the way, today is Monday Swole for the hashtag Monday Swole, and we'll be announcing that shortly. And this is for the main podcast. And of course, we'll be going into the accountability meeting, and we'll be doing another giveaway, another Swole card for members only when we go into the accountability meeting. So for those of you that are maybe on the outside that aren't Swolenormous X members yet, in just a few minutes, we'll be leaving here to go to our accountability meeting where I wanted to announce the brand new releases inside X and give you some more projections, answer some questions, and get everyone in the Swole Fam locked in and ready for the week and let you know the new releases because we got some good stuff. Let's go through some comments, but drop the hashtag Monday Swole down below for a chance to win today's Swole card. And like I said, we'll be here. The accountability meeting is going to start a few minutes later today. It's at 12 normally, but we'll be starting probably about quarter after because we'll be here. But most of you are here anyway. They're members, so it's all good. You'll get your info. You get an extra long episode of the Daily Swole pretty much. You know what I'm saying? 1312 in the house, beaches. 1312. Oh yeah, you got down the back. Yeah, looking good. No lady here. Ooh, not a lady. I like that. I do my best to meditate at least once a week. Hubby refuses to. LOL, too manly for meditation and yoga. Not true at all. That's his loss. That's the problem. That's why I hope my content will break through that barrier for dudes. You get some bearded, fucking, long-haired, muscular psychopath that grunts on camera, talks about taint and ball sack all the time. Meditate and do yoga. I'm sure I've gotten a lot of you to do that when you normally wouldn't have, which is great. And I hope to continue that. And that's what you should be doing. Aaron, ex-member, love the brain gains and I meditate daily, changes your life. I agree. Awesome to hear, brother. Fantastic. Consciousness is weird and fascinating. It sure is, April. John, what's up, dude? Meditation first thing straight out of bed every morning. Good man. And the cool thing about meditation and just awareness and just really, examining your mind and like what your actions are during the day, it becomes something that you just do throughout the day. And that's a practice too, but you're more just consciously aware of your actions and why you're doing what you're doing and what you're doing when you're doing it. It's kind of like you're in your body, but you're also observing yourself. So you start catching yourself doing things for certain reasons, or you start taking actions and you start having these other perspectives from what you're doing in the moment. Like you're doing something, but you're like aware that, oh, you're doing this because of this. Your brain just starts thinking differently about the actions you're taking in real time, which is fantastic because then you actually can do something about those decisions that you want to change. And this is one of those little I guess, little secrets, so to speak, or one of those little unforeseen benefits to meditation, because when you are able to catch these things, or you're more aware of this, you're more observant, you're registering more of this information in real time. This is how habits get built. And we talked yesterday about habits and building habits. And I talk a lot about it, about doing small incremental. When you're breaking a habit, that's a habit too. You're breaking a habit first, and then you're creating another habit. So you're pretty much doing two habits. And most people do this, but they bite off way too much. They try to do so much at once. So you're trying to change all these things. You're trying to change massive habits, massive lifestyle changes. There's no wonder why people fall off. There's no wonder why people fail. There's no wonder why people don't stay consistent, because you're trying to do too much and it's too drastic, and you're only thinking about one side of the equation. Like, okay, I need to stop doing this. Well, what about what you should start doing? And if it's not just like stopping smoking, it's not just stopping eating bad. What are you replacing it with? People just leave empty voids, and what's going to happen? Something else is going to fill its place, or it's just not going to be on a stable, sturdy surface, because now you have extra time available. You didn't set a proper plan. You went too deep into the pool, and all of a sudden you just have this lopsided habit that doesn't really have any legs to stand on. And of course you fall back into your old routine, or you go a different direction, a different extreme, which leads you down a different path. And it's like a chain reaction that keeps on fucking up your shit, rather than fundamentally filling up the holes that exist from the start. Scroll in. That James, is it bad to do yoga while watching TV, listening to music and podcasts? Is it bad? I wouldn't say it's bad. There is really no good or bad. That's subjective. I certainly don't like doing it. If I'm ever watching something, I think foam rolling could be something that's cool. It distracts you from the pain when you're foam rolling or doing some kind of like massage. But yoga is the breath and it's the mind connection. You should be, unless if you're not in a class or you're following instructions, you should be focusing on the mat. A great way to think about it is like when you're on your yoga mat, those four corners of the mat, literally like those four, imagine it being a room. So you're on your mat, that's a very small, skinny room. You're on that room. You're on the room. So you're on the room, the mat's the room, you're in your room. And anything that's outside those lines of the mat doesn't matter when you're on the mat. That's a great way to think about it. So if it's something on your phone's on, don't worry about it. Like, you shouldn't have your phone. You should be focusing on what you're doing. In my opinion, that's the best way to combine, because yoga, that next level of yoga, it's not just, okay, I'm doing a pose that's stretching my hip flexors. Oh, this one's great for my back. What yoga pose? I love it when people say that. What yoga pose is best for this? Not really the right question, because yoga is completely integrated with the breath and the movement and the flow of the entire class and the approach. And yeah, there is a move that will activate these muscles, but it's more about the sequence and where you're at with your breath during the pose and during the posture. And if you're just doing it physically, you're only getting a small fraction of the benefits of yoga. When you start combining with the breath and the psychological aspects of it, that's when it's really going to benefit you the most, because essentially you start meditating and you start kind of getting into that zone while you're doing the physical practice. And then you have a real yoga practice. And that takes practice. That's time. Again, like someone said earlier, oh, my husband, I'm trying to get my man to do it, but he doesn't want to, not manly enough. It's like, that's too bad. That's kind of the shit that we're trying to unravel here, because people are missing out hardcore, and that's what people need. That's really the kind of shit that people need. So again, Monday Swole, we'll be giving this away shortly, and we're going to be heading out in a few minutes for the accountability meeting. So make sure that you drop that hashtag Monday Swole for the card, ASA to the P. Let's see here. That is the reason this round 2 of the 90-day dash is my main focus is meditation and yoga. I need to slow down and enjoy me again. Shane, respect, man. Good stuff. I like it. Jeremy, wasn't until I became more comfortable with the flows that I noticed I needed to, quote, relax. Now I can use my breath to my advantage and release tension. That's exactly what I just said. That's fantastic. That's exactly a very well worded thing that came out of my face hole. That you needed to relax and you can use your breath. And that's really what it is, because when you first start doing yoga, the muscular strength, it's very challenging, because you're doing positions and moves and you're counter rotating joints when you're doing certain warrior positions. And it's brutal physically and it's really taxing. So you can't really, it's hard to focus on anything else. But then once you're in the pose, you start realizing, oh, you're relaxing in this pose. This pose is a resting pose. And it looks like you're holding a lunge in the air, but you're actually resting because of the type of tension you have on your legs and your mat and the balance and the rotation and where your breath is. You're not focusing on that. It's like everything has even tension. It's distributed. It's really interesting. And that kind of mindset, for those of you that think that meditation or yoga is foofy and not for dudes, when you strengthen your mind with this type of practice and then you go back to your weight training, oh, that's the easiest fucking shit. It's so much easier to do that because then you're in the gym, like the pain, the burn, the way your muscles physically feel, the way you can handle just psychological approaches to training. Anytime you have, let's say the gym is closed or you have a flat tire and other issues with time management, it just helps you be more even keel about everything. It's a big difference. Let's see here. John, I'll never forget how I felt after my first ever yoga session. Hard to explain, but unforgettable. Most people have one of those moments when you first start. You have that breakthrough class where you realize, oh shit. Yeah, there's some deep stuff when you do yoga, when you really have a good class and you really open up some certain positions, and it can be extremely exhausting and it can be extremely emotional too for people that have never really like unlocked some of this pent up shit inside. Let's see here. What's up, Michael? Never done yoga or meditating, but that is one of the reasons I joined Swolenormous X. Really need to work on both mobility and lowering the stress level a bit. Good. I'm glad. We got you. We got you. Hannah, I teach kids yoga at a Montessori school. It's so good to get those habits in at such a young age. I agree. I have all my students, Aaron, meditate and present them with abstract problems. No instruction, limited technology. And you guys are doing some intense shit. I like that. Courtney, taking care of yourself mentally also includes learning how to ground yourself from other people. Some people will literally take more energy from you if they need it. I learned this as an LMT. Oh, for sure. I think that's one of the reasons why, I know, that's one of the reasons why I don't do in-person training anymore. And I haven't for a while. It's draining. When you're around people, a lot of people that are clients, and a lot of people that come in for massage, a lot of people that in those types of services that are very hands-on, physically and mentally, it's also emotionally draining too. And they're very hands-on emotionally in the sense that when you have a client coming in, when you have a one-on-one client or any one-on-one with people, whether it's friend, family, or a client, a patient, whatever you're doing, there are a lot of people. There's certain trends where you get like those octopus people, they just suck the life out of you. They suck the energy, not the life in a bad way, like it's a fucking horror movie, but the energy is a drain. Like after them, you're just exhausted. And they might not be bad people. It takes a lot of energy. That's a great way to think of it. People are like, oh, this takes my energy away. I'm so exhausted. It's draining. People can suck the life out of you in that sense. Yolanda, it's always the people who won't try meditation and yoga who need it the most. That's what I always say. If someone says, oh, I can't slow down, yoga's too slow for me, I'm like, you need it. That's exactly what you need. You're the poster child for meditation and for yoga. For those of you that feel like your brain moves too fast for it, or you can't slow down, or you don't like it's too slow, or you are the one. You are the person that you're on the billboard. Like that is you. That's you. You are the person that needs it the most. So any of you, I don't know how many of you feel that way about yoga or meditation. That's you. I'm talking to you. You're the one. You're the one. I love some of these comments. This is fantastic. Lenora, I love teaching restorative yoga. It actually helps me also. I know for that hour and a half, there is no phone in sight for my students or myself. That's why I like to do it. I like to do classes. I also do the classes inside Swolenormous X, but I like to be physically in person with classes as well, because I will tend to get distracted or think of something and pick up my phone. It's nice to just zone out. It's nice to just zone out and like be led through something. That's why it's great. I love turning on the yoga. Like to do it myself, I like putting the phone up, and I'll do a class inside Swolenormous X too. I just like to zone out and have someone tell me what to do. I can go and stretch and stuff. I don't really consider it a yoga practice if I just do it alone. I'm getting better at it, but it's always a struggle. It's hard to sometimes lead yourself through it and still zone out and still focus because you're kind of triggering your next move. You're aware of your next move. You don't really get to release as much. That's true. Hunting has taught me to meditate 6 hours alone in the woods. That's true. It's, a lot of meditation is patience. It's patience because you're not waiting for anything. People think you're waiting for something, but it doesn't take effort. It doesn't take effort. You just be there. Nice. I'm glad meditation and yoga was introduced to me in high school. I enjoyed it, but I hadn't kept up with it until I started watching more podcasts. And you said if you've been watching and not doing it, yeah, go fuck yourself, right? I would say, like, don't be a jabroni. If you're listening and you're not doing it yet, the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? Yoga makes me happy, cry because I'm at peace. Good. Christine, I thought it was boring at first, but now that I've done quite a few sessions, I've become more aware and have slowed down. That's right. Francisca, first time in yin yoga, my body was in resistance and felt really stiff in the joints. Each time it gets better and really can do more, for sure. Mike, I only started doing yoga and meditation recently, but I'm made for it. I always work on keeping my life simple and quiet. Good for you. You guys are awesome. Let's do that Swole card giveaway. We got to get into the accountability meeting. I know we're a bunch of minutes late, but most of you are here. We're just going to roll right over. We're just going to overflow right into the private Facebook group. So those of you that are Swolenormous X members, we're wrapping up the main podcast and we're going to go right on into the private Facebook group for the rest of today's accountability meeting and the announcements and any other questions and stuff you want to talk about for members, uncensored and unlimited. We're going to go live in just a couple moments. And right after this, we'll sign off and we'll hop back on right in the private Facebook group. So today, Monday Swole, hashtag Monday Swole. Going to scroll for the Monday Swole. Make sure that you send us an email if you win ASAP because I will send this out. Monday Swole, scrolling, Monday Swole. Maureen Nielsen, congratulations. Dun, 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 dun. Congratulations, dear. Excellent. Everyone say congratulations, Maureen, in the comments. Monday Swole, hashtag Monday Swole. Congratulations, Maureen. Send us an email to the email on the screen, support@Swolenormous, with in the title and the subject, Swole card 1312, Monday Swole, whatever. Just give the episode number in the comments, Monday Swole, and your mailing address in the body. We'll get that to you ASA to the mother. P. Congratulations, Maureen. Very, very well done. Hard work. You did it. Yay. Yes. Monday Swole. We'll do another giveaway. We'll do another one in the accountability meeting. We'll do another one. So those of you that are members, we'll do another giveaway. We'll do another one. I like to do a special accountability meeting episode. 1312 accountability meeting. Because today we got some releases like normal. We got some releases coming later today, but we got some new stuff, a little new section in X. I know we keep on adding shit. Fucking ridiculous. And this is something that I haven't even talked about yet. It's like, yeah, for the things I've already talked to you about, fam. For the things I've already talked to you about, this is like a new... This is something that I did not preface you for. I did not prepare you for this. So we're going to go for the accountability meeting right now. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for episode 1312 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. So if you want to hook into the Swole Fam, you can get started for less than $3 with all memberships. You can get access to the live streams in the private community. So go check it out, swolenormousx.com. Click on memberships, and you'll see the uncensored and unlimited options. And if you did go right now, and if you're watching the live stream and you want to plug in, I'll be keeping my eye on the sign up, so you might be able to get in while we're streaming and you won't miss a beat. So hopefully I will see you there. And for all you members, I will see you there right now. I'll also be sending out another Swole text. So see you in the private group right now. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy, Papa Swolio. Out.